Good day, everybody. This is Michael Wenniger, founder and CEO of Essante Organics. And we're going to run a mini-series, not only on the channel, but we're going to run it on Facebook. And the name of this series is called The Truth, the Whole Truth, and Nothing But the Truth. And we're going to talk a little bit about the home-based business industry and the network marketing industry. And we're going to run this in segments so you get some really good short education. And hopefully I can teach you how big businessmen and millionaires, people that have been extremely successful, look at this industry so they can make the right choices or make a choice in either direction and why they make those choices. My background is I've been in the networking industry for 28 years. My father worked with the Wisconsin Gas Company, so I don't come from business and I don't come from a lot of money. And I was working my way through college when I found this industry, and I found it by accident. When I say we, that's my brother and myself. My brother came up to me and wanted me to look at a home-based business, and I didn't know what that was. I was in college working about three, four jobs to get me through school and pay for my schooling, and didn't look at it at first, and wound up in somebody's home looking at this industry, and then didn't do it. Then I took a course on the industry and found out a little bit about reoccurring income, residual income, compounding income, how millionaires and billionaires are made. And so we took a shot at it, and we got involved in a company, and we got in early in the beginning at the tippy top of one of the largest companies in this industry. It is a company that is the last company ever to reach multi-billions of dollars in revenue year after year after year. I went on being a consultant to companies in the industry. I worked in compliance with the law, writing helping design compensation plans and doing internal infrastructure. So I'm well versed in the industry, and hopefully I can give everybody some little tidbits of information that can allow you to make the right choices so you have a company that will last you forever. And that's something that has to be looked at in this day and age. We're in a time of life where in the industry there's a lot of choice. In my day there wasn't a lot of choice, but with the internet and technology now, there's a lot of things out there that you don't want to be involved with and don't have any long-term sustainability. And hopefully I can put some insight here so you know how to look at some of these companies. And so we're going to talk a little bit. It'll be a series, so we'll be talking about the home-based business industry, network marketing industry, timing and positioning, not only with you, but the company itself in the marketplace. We're going to talk about a segment on products, on compensation plans, distractions. There's a lot of that going on in the industry as well, and that is not good because it is a point of weakness with companies. And we're going to talk a little bit about integrity and character of companies, the 4 reasons why people will even keep involved in a company or keep ordering products from a certain company. And I got notes here, so if I look away, that's what I'm doing. So, a lot of choice. Is the company doing the right behaviors? The insight on the millionaires, how they look at businesses. How would, a Jeff Bezos who owns Amazon.com or Richard Branson or somebody, how would they analyze these companies? And if you don't do this, your business is going to go away. So we'll start with, timing and positioning. One, we're going to talk about yourself, and secondly, we're going to talk about the company as well. So let's talk about you, timing and positioning. Here's the true numbers of this industry. We all hear that this industry creates the most millionaires in any other industry in the world. Absolutely. It does. But it also is an industry that creates the most failure than any other thing in the world as well. 98% of all millionaires in this industry are people that get involved in these companies early, in the beginning, at the tippy top, okay? And, people can and will argue this fact, but it's a fact. 98% of all the millionaires in all these companies are the ones that get in at the very beginning because it's an industry of numbers. It's simple second grade arithmetic. It's the stacking of numbers. And you got to answer this question. Do you want to be on top of the pile, or do you want to be on the bottom of the deck? And again, people will argue with this, and you have and say, you know what? There are people that are going to get in some of these old companies and become that golden child, of that company. Get into an old company and be the next big thing with that company. Yes, that will happen. But what are your chances? Your chances of that happening to you are the same chances of you going out and buying a lottery ticket. And you're going to win that lottery ticket 7 weeks in a row. You're going to go out and buy that ticket on a Wednesday afternoon every week on the same day at the same time, and you're going to walk in and buy that ticket, and you're going to walk out on a sunny day and get hit by lightning every time you walk out of that place. Your chances of that happening are far more greater than you being a golden child of a company that's an old company, or a company that's rebranding itself in a sense of where all they're doing is changing the name of the company. Look, you're working with a database in this industry, a database of numbers. And if they're just changing the name and a couple formulations, you're still at the bottom of this old, 26, 15-year-old, 20-year-old, whatever, how many years old that company is, you're at the bottom of that database. You're not at the top. You're at the bottom. It's an industry of stacking of numbers, second grade arithmetic, like we talked about. Get in, at the top, and, we'll talk about how to choose the right company so you're in the right company at the top of that company. So your goal is to build a strong, solid, sustainable business that will last forever for you and for your children. So when you're picking the right company, you also have to look at what does this company have to offer, not only in the immediate right now, but in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Are people going to still be buying those products? And you have to find a company that is aggressively attacking the marketplace. And the right behavior is building a catalog so people go and get everything in one place. And we'll talk about that a little later. So now, let's talk a little bit about timing and positioning. We talked about timing and positioning with you and where you want to be in that company. And let's talk about timing and positioning with the company itself. How about the marketplace? Is this company going to have strength and stability and sustainability to guarantee longevity so you can get out there and build a business one time? It's hard to work in this industry. And I say it's not the easiest thing you can do, but it's the simplest thing that you can do. But you don't want to be having to switch companies every 3 to 5 years because the company itself didn't do the right things. So, is this company going to have strength, stability, sustainability, guarantee your longevity? Not because there's a bunch of people, telling you this, not because they're screaming this from the stage. We're going to be the next biggest thing. How many times? Every company you can go to, they're out there screaming from the stage how they're going to be the next biggest thing since, in the networking industry. But, is that company positioned properly even to be that next biggest thing? Forget about the corporate team. You need a good corporate team, yes, but, and he's done this and they've done that. Great. But that doesn't do anything to ensure that that company is going to be around in 10 to 15 years and keep providing you and your family an income. So, is this company positioned properly in the marketplace? What category did your company create? That's being placed in the marketplace properly. What category did they create that has never existed before? Now, this is a hard thing to do because we're looking at what's happening in business. Let's talk about categories and category creators and why they are so important. Examples. You want to be in a company that creates a category, not riding the coattails of any other company or just being involved in this particular arena of the industry. And there's a lot of companies doing it, and their company isn't doing really anything that sets them apart than any other company because they all got the same story. We're the greatest in this because of this. And, you know, when you're out there trying to compete with that, that's a hard thing to do. So, category creators: Apple, Microsoft, Google, eBay, Amazon.com. How would you like to been in the garage with any of those companies, knowing those guys and working with them? You would most likely be a billionaire, if not have hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, because they created a category that never existed before in the history of business. In the history of business. And they met the supply and demands of the markets and trends that they were penetrating in the category that they created. Here's a guy, Jeff Bezos, has his cars parked in front of his house, working the business out of his garage, going down to the local used bookstore, and then starting the first online bookstore. And all he's doing is listing titles of books that he can already get and making, charging an extra $1, $1.50, and still giving the consumer a great deal on books. And whoever thought by starting that he would have the creativity to expand very, very quickly and became the largest shopping portal in the world and changed the way the world thinks about online shopping. And that's the first place they go to is Amazon.com to look for what they want to buy. And now the gentleman has so much money he paid cash for the Washington Post. Imagine that. That's what I mean about finding the right company. Now, look at the network marketing industry. Now, let's just go back a few years. We aren't going to go all the way back to the time, but first it was juices, and everybody was buying these juices, and the companies thought they were going to run their whole entire business for everybody's going to buy juice forever. But that wasn't reality. That didn't come true. And those companies kind of drifted off into the sunset and aren't doing as well as they could or used to because they focused on one thing and they didn't focus on building you out a catalog of a lot of products that you can use every single solitary day. I got a break for some water here. Then it went from juices into shakes. And then when one company did extremely well in shakes, everybody's jumping on the shake bandwagon and trying to ride their coattails. And that company didn't do proper behaviors, didn't do proper things. And what happened there, they didn't focus on what they should have been focusing, which was once they gather and they grew a big, huge company, they didn't aggressively build a catalog to hold people in one place to do the things that they do every single day, which are habitual commodities, and be able to, go to have the convenience to go to one place and have it shipped there. Instead, they were more worried about, paying celebrities and everybody wearing the same things and doing this, all these different things, which wasn't building a company on anything other than air. Now we're in the anti-aging industry, and again, we got the same behaviors happening again. But are these companies doing the right thing to build a company so you can build a business that's going to last forever? And, these are not new categories. All they're doing is running on a category that's, already been around, which has similar products that gives you the exact same results. All the companies out there now in anti-aging are posting before and afters. I don't see any difference. But what I do see is companies focusing on the wrong behaviors and not the right behaviors. So it might give you a little short-term success, and then you get all wound up in all the activities only to find that all that's going to go away. And a lot of people get involved into a big world of hurt when that happens. More water. So let's remember that what we're seeing going on right now in this industry are fads. And a fad is bad, and a trend is your friend. Are these companies revolutionizing a way of life? Like this iPhone that we're doing this video through. 6 years ago, it was worthless because it just came out. But because of doing the right things and having the right things, it completely changed the way the world lives. Get involved in front of a way of life before it becomes a way of life. This changed the way that people thought about communication devices. It changed the way the world spent their money on communication devices, and it's a global phenomenon and will be forever. They're now a $250 billion a year company because they changed the way the world lives and thinks on spending their money on communication devices. You can find those types of companies inside this home-based business and networking arena if you do the right things and analyze these companies properly. Or else you're not going to have a sustainable business.